This episode is presented to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Welcome back, All the Smoke 2025 All-Star here in the beautiful Bay Area. I'm glad it's not raining today. We got someone here today. Go ahead.
Special edition.
Yeah, someone who, we'll get to this part, but just very instrumental in both of me and Stak's careers. There ain't no telling where if this guy didn't kind of stamp us, we probably wouldn't be here, to be honest with you, because we was both on a fucked up path at the point when we came here.
I was so bad when I got here, I got suspended 7 games before I even played one.
And they couldn't even suspend me because I wasn't on the team. So it's like, shit. But, man, welcome to the show, Chris Mullin, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
My brother, thanks for being here.
Warriors legend, St. John's legend, New York's finest. Magic Johnson once said, when God made a basketball player, he carved out Chris Mullin. Don Nelson said, Mully is Larry Bird. He's just 6'7", not 6'9". You had a lot of game, to say the least. When you hear some of the greatest to ever do it, obviously one of the greatest players and one of our favorite coaches and greatest coaches, kind of give you that kind of respect and homage. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, that's everything. And then before I get into that first, let me say Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, it was my pleasure to have you guys here with us. You guys made my career as a GM. Seriously.
Appreciate that.
That was the most fun looking back that I had in the front office. Your toughness, your camaraderie, your leadership. So yeah, I just want to get that out there. What you guys did, much like Mitch, Tim, and I, it was kind of a short stint, but a huge impact.
Yeah.
Huge impact. That We Believe team, they still love you guys. So I want to thank you guys for being part of my life. Now, as far as, and you guys know, when you play, you're going to win, you're going to lose, you're going to score your points and all that. But ultimately, it's the respect of your teammates and maybe more your peers, the people you play against. So what Magic said to me to this day, one of the most uplifting things ever said about me from a basketball standpoint. When I first made my first All-Star game, Pat Riley said similar things. That still sticks in my mind. And then another thing that I always remember, and when you're playing and you're locked in, you don't really understand what on your daily habits, how you're affecting people. Shunas Marshallonis once said that I had the ability to put my chest out, but I didn't. Right? Just kind of. And I was taught that. We're all taught things by our youth coaches. But one of the biggest influences of my basketball career was Lou Carnesecca, who just passed away in '99.
Peace. Yeah.
So much like Matt, much like John Wooden at UCLA, he really gave me three pillars of success. One was there's no substitute for a hard day's work. Now, whatever that means, whatever job you're in, for us was daily habits, getting your shots up, whatever you need to do to take care of your body, all those things. So no substitute for a hard day's work. Remain humble and grateful, right? He used to have a saying called, peacock today, feather dusted tomorrow, right? So treat everyone with grace and humility, win with grace, lose with humility, same thing. And then the last thing is what you guys are doing now is share your experiences, good and bad, right? You want to share, because you mentioned, some things we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I went through those things. Maybe people don't remember, but I did.
We know.
So what I want to do is help people not get into those pitfalls, right? Or if they do, be there for them, right? So share your experiences. And his saying there was, don't have short arms, meaning
Reach out.
reach out, hug, but also every once in a while pick up the check too.
Makes sense. All the sense in the world.
16-year career, 5-time NBA All-Star. You had a stretch of 5 years where you're at 25 and 5. I mean, and that's in a tough era.
Hand checking, beating up, fighting.
Yeah.
You're only getting 2 games for fighting back then.
Maybe not even that.
Might not even.
It might just
Not
be
even a
tech,
foul.
I was about to say, it might just be a tech or a regular foul.
Let's get straight to it. We're here at the Chase Arena. We had some great years here. I think some of my great years here. Being a GM when we were in Golden State. Talk about the process of getting me here and also the process of getting Matt here, doing BD, when BD brought him in.
Yeah, well, what you said, Jack, it was a process.
Yeah.
So when I first got here, you got to understand, I had played here 13 years.
Yep.
Went to Indiana, came back. So it wasn't like I didn't know what was going on with this organization.
Okay.
It had become a place, let's put it this way, it was not a destination.
Right.
So you had to somehow get that back. When me, Mitch, and Tim played, people wanted to come here because of the style of play and things like that. We had to get that back. At that time, we had young players, So what I did, I committed to developing the young players, trying to keep a foundation.
That was what? Jay Rich, Gilbert,
Mike and Troy.
Mike Dunleavy, Troy Murphy.
So that group, they were young. And we had this organization had a history of losing young players, just moving, like Gilbert had left, right? So he went on. So try to get a foundation and develop and then see what what's out in the trade market or free agency. So that was the plan. That plan was flipped on its head.
Monte too. Monte was there.
Monte, yeah. We had a nice little core, but they weren't ready to win yet.
Right.
Baron Davis was in New Orleans.
Right.
Disgruntled. He was on the trade block, whatever it might be. We traded for Baron, and I remember it's funny because I called Donnie Walsh, one of my guys, which he'll come back later in the story. But I called Donnie. We'd always talk trades. I said, what do you think about Baron? Not that I didn't watch him. I knew who Baron was, but not as much because of the West Coast. Donnie's like, he's the best guard in the league when he plays.
He plays.
He goes, Mully, when he's on the court, he's the best guard in the league. I said, whoa. So we did a deal for Baron. And we had 30 games left. We got him at the trade deadline. We went 18-12.
With BD.
With BD and pretty much alone.
Right.
And those young guys. That off season, we made a coaching change. Got Nellie. Because now with Baron, I had Mitch and Rod, Mitch Richmond, Rod Higgins.
Mike Montgomery was before, okay.
Yes. Yeah. Again, fundamentals, trying to get those young guys situated. We got Baron. Right away, we're sitting up there watching him. I go, that's Tim Hardaway, dude. We need to get this back. So Nellie had left Dallas. He was in Hawaii doing his thing.
Because he was beefing with Mark Cuban at the time.
Yep. Beefing. So I got a hold of Nellie midsummer. We wound up getting Nellie to come back to coach.
Wow.
Now he's got Baron. Nellie started implementing some of his stuff. He could see it developing. Come that trade deadline, you guys were all sitting out in Indiana.
Yep, suspended. In
You
trouble.
want to explain that or?
Yeah, go ahead.
No. I want you to because I want to know your version.
Okay.
This is why I asked because I know you know a lot of conversation stuff that was happening behind the scenes that we don't know.
So obviously the Malice in the Palace had happened.
Exactly.
All you guys were sitting out, suspended.
Yeah.
Plus the shootout.
No. The Malice in the Palace happened the year before. Right before the trade happened, the shootout happened.
Okay, right. But you had been suspended.
Yeah, and now I was on
you're
probation.
Back playing, right.
Fresh out of jail, yes.
So
let's get that right.
Let's say a tumultuous time in Indiana.
Exactly.
To say the least.
I can't spell that word, but I know what it means.
Sounds like something bad. I've known Donnie Walsh since I was a kid. We would talk basketball, talk trades all the time, even if we didn't do deals. We'd like to talk basketball. A New York guy from the Bronx. He called me when he knew he was going to move you guys, right? Matter of fact, first I talked to Ron Artest about coming here before we went to Sacramento. You know Ron.
See, so this is the type of stuff I want to hear.
Okay,
yeah,
so I've known him since he was a kid.
Right.
So I was trying to get him to the Warriors. I was talking to him and his agent. They did the deal in Sacramento. He's in the limo and calls me, trying to squash that trade to come to Golden State.
Oh, wow.
Didn't happen. He goes to Sac.
Yeah.
Donnie calls me and says, listen, I'm going to move these guys, Jack, Al. And not that he handed it to me, but he goes, I really want this thing to work.
I forced his hand.
I'm sure you did. But in a way, Donnie
still looked out.
Wanted to make it work. He did, Jack. He called me.
No, I'm saying I forced his hand in a bad way.
Okay, yeah. Donnie didn't want it. Donnie
loves 2 years,
you.
2 incidents. Like, come on, Jack.
Hold on. If you look at Donnie's history, he loves ballers and
real ones.
And he'll take care of people.
Yes.
He's not going to judge mistakes.
Nope.
He's going to try and fix mistakes. He's going to come up with solutions.
Yep.
That's the way Donnie lives his life. I know that. So he called me and said, look, I'm going to move these guys. I think they'll be a good fit, but I also think they'll be good with you.
Yeah.
Because, like I said earlier, I had my struggles.
Yeah.
Like most people forget, I went to rehab in my third year, way before my career took off.
Right.
So when guys, have missteps, my first inclination is that's me, not
Fuck 'em.
You can relate.
fucked up.
Yeah.
No, that's dead. But for the grace of God, there go I, there went I. I did all that stuff.
Right.
And people were there to help me. So when Donnie said that, I'm like, cool. Like I know Jack. I know these. I had played with Al. Man, this is awesome. But and you guys know this. One of the first things that Nellie was all in. Like, yo, go get them, because Nellie wanted to win.
Right.
And I just went to Barron. Sometimes in the league, you never know. So I went to Barron. I didn't know you guys were tight from high school. So then he went from like yes to like, yo, you better get this done. That's my boy. Let's go.
Yeah.
So when that deal went down, much like Barron's arrival, much like Jimmy Butler, that thing turned the organization around. And then the ride itself was fun, hilarious. You guys were all friends previously, so the team chemistry just happened overnight. You know, and Matt,
Majority of us.
you know, and you guys got to experience what me, Mitch, and Tim did. Some of the most fun basketball, the shoot-arounds, the practices.
But that's what, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's kind of what y'all built. Y'all experienced it on your own time in real time. So it was kind of easy for you to build that blueprint again.
Well, you know, even like with the Warriors, like so Steve Kerr, they just acquired Jimmy Butler. In his mind, he says he's a little bit Andre Iguodala. He's got a little Sean Livingston because he can settle the game down the half court. You go back to your experiences, right? That's what it's all about, is passing on your experience, and that's why the game evolves.
Right.
Like Kobe became great because he emulated Michael. Things we see today, we've seen versions of it. Maybe it's better, but it's better because those guys watched the previous generation. So that trade and that season, it's funny, we did that three-point contest with Barron recently. So we were sitting around talking and laughing. So Barron's like, yeah, and you guys remember this. We were on the road. You guys were in Detroit.
Yep.
East Coast trip. And Barron was rehabbing his knee.
Yep.
Down in L.A. I think with
we had a meeting after that game in the locker room. I don't mean to cut you off. We had a meeting after we beat Detroit, and we all sat in there after we beat Detroit. We was like, bro, we can do something. You remember that, Matt? We like, bro, we can really do something.
Nellie was getting a little frustrated, and I know Nellie. He can go quick, man. Now he's in New York at the cigar bar on 7th Avenue, probably thinking about going to Maui.
Playing shuffleboard.
Thinking about going to Maui.
Yeah.
Barron's in L.A., so me and Mitch, I sent Rod Higgins. I said, yo, go sit with Nellie, make sure he doesn't, go off the deep end. Me and Mitch, we're going to L.A. to talk to Barron, see what's up. He was with Dart, rehabbing his knee.
Yep.
So we went to Steven Jackson's gym.
Yep.
I started rebounding for Barron little by little. Then I started egging him on a little bit. Then we're playing a little one-on-one, messing around, 2-on-2. Next thing we're going hard. Like, yo, Barron, you're good to go, man. You got to go to Detroit, bro. And then he went. We won that game. And from that time, I think we had to win like every game to finish the season.
18 out of 21 or something like that.
Yeah. So that was a magical run. And like I said, short-lived, much like Run TMC. But you guys know when you come back here, man, people love that team. I don't know about you guys. You guys played, as much as I did. That Oracle Arena at that point in time, I've never heard anything as loud during that playoff run.
Steve Kerr even said that.
Before we go that far, signing Matt off the football field, how did all that happen?
Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
Well, Nellie, we all knew Matt. He was. I don't even. Where were you in Sacramento at that time?
I was just
BD made the call, right?
Barron called me. So Barron, you guys were having an open gym at the facility, and Barron hit me like at 9 o'clock, and open gym was at 11. I had like an hour and a half drive to get there, and I came
right before training camp.
Right before training camp happened, and I came in and I played really well in this open gym. But Nellie was watching the whole time from his office. Remember, he had the corner office that could see the court. And he came down and just asked me, "Where you going to camp, son?" I was like, "Shit, nowhere."
But once again, and I knew Nellie.
Yeah.
So
spontaneous
to
like that.
To us, he was an athletic Rod Higgins.
Okay. Yes.
Can play, can slide up to 4.
Yeah.
Right. More of an athletic 2-3, but can play 4, shoot the 3. That fit. Nellie always said, "How can I make it work? I'm gonna put pressure on the other team. Don't tell me what my disadvantage. I'm gonna put the disadvantage with mismatches to the other team."
Yep.
He was the first one like got everybody start doing tattoos too, I think.
Maybe, yeah. We got Monte tatted up. We have fun. I mean, like I said, to hear the behind the scenes side and then kind of know our side, how this all came together. I mean, we were struggling. Barron was hurt, and I remember I want to say we were in LA when the trade happened, and we only played with like 7 or 8 guys the day the trade happened. We got beat, and then we got Jack and Allen, and it still took a little bit to get going. Barron was still hurt, but obviously it came together game-wise in Detroit, but it started coming together before that because Jack's personality was just loving and electric, and we went from, once he got a crib, like we would go from practice to Jack's house and start smoking and watching game film.
We've never done that.
Yeah, we were all
watch game film.
Everyone would
the whole team.
Everyone
smoking. You just everyone
would be high as fuck watching game. When we were watching game film, though, like we were really watching our.
Was
game.
Nellie there too?
Nah, Nelly was upstairs. You know, Nelly had the top floor.
You drop a little package off to him, go back down.
We got a story about that too, actually, after we beat Dallas. But I mean, just the way they came in, like we would eat together, we would hang out at Jackson, watch game film, and we would go out together. So really kind of that bond started growing off the court. And then it finally, when Barron came back, it started showing on the court. And obviously that Detroit game was kind of a pivotal moment for us. And this was the Detroit team that won the champ with Ben Wallace, Rip, Chauncey, all them dude, they were nice, and we went in there and smacked them. And like, I remember we talked in the locker room, but on the plane flight, everyone kind of had a couple drinks. Like, yo, we can really do something if we're serious about it. And we committed, and I want to say we won like 18 out of 23 games to end up making the playoffs. So it was super short-lived, but again, for you guys to kind of take a chance on just a bunch of people that were kind of lost in the wind, you know what I mean, to trade Dunleavy and Troy, who were, you know, high draft picks for you guys, but, you know, to be able to bring them in and bring all this because of, again, the experience you guys have with Run TMC, kind of understanding what that meant to be able to really bond with these guys and know what that means on the court.
Yeah, I think too, Matt, the experience of, you know, having the connection with myself, Rod, Higgins, and Mitch Rich with Nellie, seeing the game the same way and looking at players that, you know, Nellie, look, he has a very unique way of playing. Yep. We all know that. So maybe what some other teams would see as a negative,
love it.
We saw as positives, you know. So that whole process was fun. And it's funny listening to what you were saying, Matt. You know, I know Mitch and Tim and I are coming on tomorrow. Very similar feelings that we had going through that process. And the thing, too, is this. And you guys, I know you guys were tight prior to, but Nellie always had a very unique way of making practice fun. Shoot-arounds were not stressful, but you learned an easygoing way, which, you know, tells me like a lot of things from the old school still do work. So some bonding together. You guys were tight, but all of a sudden the style of play brought you guys together. Exactly. Kind of the, you know, small lineup. We're on demand, but we're going to us against the world, you know? And then, of course, you know, we'll probably get, but that Dallas series, how we were heavy underdogs.
We prepared.
But we felt like we got them.
Bust their ass all year.
Got them.
Yeah.
And then Dirk Nowitzki was MVP.
Yeah.
Unstoppable. Put Steven Jackson on him.
Me and Matt, tag team.
Yeah, both of you guys get up into him.
Tag team.
Get up into him. So, again, Nellie's knowledge, his understanding of your guys' toughness, and just a simple that more than drawing up a play, that's the coaching adjustment.
Yeah.
Who's guarding the best player? You know, you're not going to put a big on where he's going to pick and pop and be wide open.
Right.
Every time he catches, Jack's going to get up into his feet, and when he spins, we're there.
Yep.
When he spins,
Nellie was so smart. He knew the worst defender on Phoenix team, and he made our smallest player post him up because he couldn't guard. So we was posting Monte on Steve Nash. That's how he took advantage of mismatches all the time.
Or he would play small on another team's big,
exactly.
So they post him up.
Exactly.
That's what we wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah, go post him up. Good. It's one less shot for their best player.
He used to make Al guard Yao Ming.
And Al wanted to quit after.
Well, listen, you know what? You remember that? He would have Al. I mean, again, this is something.
He was weighing Al. He had Al get on the scale for practice.
But he would tell him as he's running up court, get in his way. Not in the post, in the back court.
Running.
In the back court, start getting in his way. He could never get to the paint.
Yeah.
By the time he got there, the shot clock was down to 8.
By the way, that Dallas series in the first round was Nellie's championship. After we won, he didn't give a fuck about Utah, by the way. The energy
we
change.
was doing our own scouting reports and all that, bro.
The energy change.
Listen,
he just wanted to beat Dallas.
You're right.
That's it. All Nelly wanted to do was beat Dallas.
It was bad, bro. It was bad.
He was done.
He checked out.
Dude, he called me down like after it was like that was a close series, dude. I know it was 4. We had them.
Yeah.
We
had them.
If we would have won the first 2 games, we had the first 2 games on the road.
And we had to turn over the background,
and
some
beat him
free
at the free throws.
But after one of those games, Nellie called me. He wanted to talk about something. I go down to his room. We're in Salt Lake City. He's sitting there in like his boxers and no shirt. I'm like, damn, what the hell? The dude's in Maui already.
Right. Hold on, let me tell you this though. This is another thing that happened when we was in the playoffs. Me and Beatty ended up getting our last drug test. And as we come out, Nellie's standing in the tunnel with his hand high. I'm like, oh yeah, he's done. He's good job, y'all. Like we did something. We taking our last test. He clapped like, He happy for us. Like, oh yeah, he checked out.
Did
he
you
checked
know,
out.
Did you know the part how after we beat Dallas that night,
We had a
went
party.
back to Jack's house and Nellie had a party upstairs, but we were back at Jack's
I don't think
smoking
you know
and
about
chilling.
this.
So we went up to Nellie's place. Our coach used to live like 3 or 4 floors above Jack's. So we went to Jack's place and smoked, drank a little bit, and then we were gonna stop by Nellie's before we went out. We go up to Nellie's and
What's
it's
the first thing he said to us though?
"Hey fellas, Woody's in the back rolling doobies." So Woody Harrelson was in the back. Like, he had a bunch of people at his crib. Woody Harrelson's in the back rolling joints. And keep in mind, this is our fucking head coach after the first round victory. He's like, "Woody's in the back rolling doobies. Go smoke with them." And we looked at each other like, what the fuck did our coach just say? So we listened to our coach and went in the back and smoked weed on his balcony with Woody Harrelson.
Shout out Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson was there
here,
too.
Yeah, Jessica Alba, Kate Hudson.
Yes.
It was kind of a
It
little
was a
thing.
good time,
But,
man. That's some
that's
of the best
team chemistry, man.
Man, that was
it.
some of the best years of my life,
Bonding,
man.
bonding.
Thank you for bringing me here, man.
No, thank you guys, man.
What up, y'all? This is Matt
Your boy Stak.
from the All the Smoke podcast.
Big news. We're teaming up with the ultimate sneaker plug, StockX.
You see it. It's on our feed. Let me put you on to something real quick. If you're serious about sneakers and style, you need to be on StockX.
For the Raz kicks to the latest releases, StockX gives you access to everything you need to level up your game. No more missing out, just straight up access to what's next.
Head to StockX.com or download the StockX app to level up your collection.
It's the game changer. StockX. Now you know.
Tip off March basketball with Captain Morgan and DraftKings. Play free and take your shot at a share of $50,000 this March.
Head over to DraftKings.com/Captain Morgan to participate in the 5 free-to-play pools during college basketball's biggest tournament.
The contest starts March 16th and it'll go through March 28th. So enter now to get in on all the action.
Eligibility restrictions apply. Must be 21 plus to enter. Void where prohibited.
See DraftKings.com/Captain Morgan for details. Please drink responsibly. I've teamed up with DraftKings to tell y'all a little bit about Pick 6. Pick 6 is an all-new way to play daily fantasy sports. There's only about a month left in the NBA season, so get in on the action now. New customers, this is all you have to do. Play $5 or more on your first Pick 6 set. After that, you'll get $50 in Pick 6 credits. The rules are simple. Pick at least 2 players, and you decide if they have more or less of a stat. Will they score 20 or more points, or have 3 or more assists? So go ahead and get started. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now. Sign up using the code SMOKE to claim your offer. That's promo code SMOKE, only at DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Let's get back your upbringing. Flatbush. You used to travel around to the Harlem and the Bronx to try to face the best in the city. Let's keep it real. Basketball wasn't really for people your color. Like really at that point. You know what I mean? You really had to go out there and make a name for yourself and handle your business in New York, which was the mecca of basketball. What were those early journeys and ups and downs like in your early basketball journey?
If you closed your eyes though,
You would never
listen
know.
to him talk, you
would
like,
never
oh,
know.
nah.
That's probably why he made it work.
Yeah.
Now you guys know as well as anybody, the journey's everything, right?
Right.
Our upbringing, the people that influence us, our families. So I grew up in Flatbush, in Brooklyn, blue collar, middle class neighborhood. I had a great family. Mom and dad were home. I was the middle of 5 children. My older brother was a great athlete, so that was my first role model. He was a great baseball player, great basketball player, so I followed him, everything he did. CYO basketball, just up the street. We had a gym right up the block from my house. I could walk there in 2 minutes. But I fell in love in playing in my backyard. It was a sport I felt I could go out there by myself and get better. You know, that's what kind of hooked me to hoops. My older brother went to Powell Memorial Academy, which was an hour and a half from where I lived. It was a bus and 2 trains. I was at Powell Memorial where Kareem went. Lenny Elmore was a dynamic, incredible basketball school, but it was far away from our neighborhood. It was a Catholic school, and it was cheap. We had several Catholic schools by my house. They were expensive.
Yeah.
There was a school by me, was $1,000. Powell was $500. And if you had a brother in the school, you got $100 off. So I had no choice. My father sent me there because financially. So traveling up to Power, which was Midtown Manhattan, 61st in Amsterdam, that's where I met all these guys from Uptown. Mario Ellie was one of my classmates. And Riverside Church was this legendary AU program.
Riverside Church.
So the guys that played at Riverside at Power brought me up to Riverside Church. And that's how I started going uptown.
Yeah.
And once I started going, playing in the, summertime in the parks, not only was it eye-opening as far as talent, it was motivational because all of a sudden, in my neighborhood, I was the best player, but it wasn't great players there. It was good. It was a solid basketball community. But you go up to Harlem and the Bronx, all of a sudden, your eyes get open pretty quick. Different style of play, which was key for me.
Yeah.
I was very fundamental. I was very well coached as a kid, skill development. But all of a sudden, I kind of learned it would be more like the NBA game, getting up and down, shooting the first shot available, playing off the dribble, all those things I learned through that. And then probably most importantly was every single day you had to prove yourself.
Yeah.
Like when I went up to the park, and I was the only white guy in the park. So right away, like, what's this guy doing here? Come on, man. So there was
when you
somewhat
had the longer hair too.
a little bit, yeah. But pressure, but also you want to prove yourself.
Yeah. Right.
And it was every day. So the performance the day before had nothing to do with the next day. You always had to go up there and show out, or they booed you until you get the hell out of here.
Right.
So in a way, that pressure / motivation really developed my focus. So whether I'm playing in an empty gym or in a packed Madison Square Garden, the approach is the same because you're proving something. If you're playing one-on-one, you're proving to that guy right there,
what you are.
I'm in better condition than you. I'm a better shooter. I'm tougher. So I learned that as a young kid, and then stayed home, obviously at St. John's, played on some great teams there. But my upbringing, first at home, and then growing up in New York City, I think really, as a basketball player, meant everything. But I gotta say, it really shaped, in my opinion, a wider view of the world. Because like I said earlier, at home I had my mom and dad were home. My mom was home every night for dinner. And all of a sudden, at Power, I would go over to Spanish Harlem with a teammate who lived in the project, and an empty house, no food. All of a sudden, I'm like, damn. But in a good way, though.
Yeah.
It made me grateful. It made me want to help that kid, bring him home to my house. But sometimes when you're only in your own community, you think everyone has what you have.
Right.
So it opened up my eyes to a lot. And I tell people this too, Matt and Jack. Simple commute from Brooklyn to Powell Memorial, that in itself was an education every single day. So I would get on the number 3 train on Flatbush Avenue, take it up to 42nd Street, if you guys have noticed it, but I would switch on the 1 train to 61st Street. But during that route every day as a 14-year-old kid,
So many personalities.
I'd get on the train with Wall Street people, all in suits and briefcases. At 42nd Street, at Wall Street, they would get off. The next stop
The hood.
would come on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I would change my pot. I'd be like this with the what? And then all of a sudden, I would, just make adjustments. But doing that alone, looking back, it gave me incredible awareness. Not only, how to take care of yourself and street smart, but also, again, getting back to how people are living differently so close to you.
Yeah.
That's an invaluable education. I think when it happens, you don't think about it.
Right.
But later on, you kind of have a better appreciation what's going on around you.
Yeah.
And my mom and dad both were very progressive in letting us, like I said, I was 14 going up to Harlem or wherever, but they wanted that for their kids. They wanted us to get out there and see the world. So I think it's a good lesson for us to pass on, right? And the NBA is great, and sports in general do that, break down barriers. But I felt like I had that, being grown up in New York exposed me to a lot. Basketball, of course, but a lot of life lessons.
I mean, getting on that train and riding, just taking that ride, I can see that. So many different
But
personalities.
it's different though because I think I got 16-year-old kids. I wouldn't trust that these days. You know what I mean? It's just that we came up in a different time. Like you said, you're coming out and proving yourself at the parks. Like they don't do that no more.
I mean, I read the paper every day. The trains are, here's horror
no
stories.
telling what's
You
happening.
didn't have no choice, though.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the only way you could get there. You know what I'm saying? We're
Yeah.
blessed to have 5 kids to have choices now.
Well, same thing. Our kids didn't grow up like we did.
Right, exactly.
Because we didn't want them to.
Right.
But there are some things that they miss, right?
Exactly.
Along the way.
That's very beneficial.
Gino, what are these LA streets looking like these days, man? I ain't been in them in a minute.
Man, it's rough out there, man. The pool of women out there now, woo, you have to have it together, brother.
Are you out there performing though?
I am now.
Are you?
Yes.
What's the secret? No more popsicle sticks and duct tape?
Yo, no. We're way more advanced than that.
Okay,
now,
where you at with it?
They got this Row Sparks thing that I'm doing.
What's that?
It's a lozenge you drop under your tongue.
Okay.
And you get going. On average, 15 minutes, man, and you ready to go after that, man.
Got your manhood right.
Absolutely. 12 o'clock, you like a rocket.
What's in them?
You're getting a combination of both.
Okay.
Other things that are
Heavy
out there
hitters.
right now. Absolutely.
I only get, one opportunity to make a first impression back here. They haven't seen me for a minute.
Yes, and you don't want to flatline with these girls nowadays, boy, because they'll talk about you. They have you on
definitely
Instagram.
will. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They have you on Instagram.
I've been on Instagram enough. I don't need to be on Instagram about
Yeah,
this.
you need to calm down too with that, by the way.
Now, is it consistent or is it just on call, you'll be ready?
I believe it's very consistent. Well, for me personally, it's consistent. You know what I mean? And I'm not ashamed to say it.
Okay. I mean, we're all getting a little bit older.
I am old.
You definitely are
Yes.
old. Well, I'm glad that you don't have to use the old antics you've been using in these LA streets for a while, and now you have something brand new. So
Yes.
you're almost like a new man out here.
Absolutely. The Cougars love me out there.
Do they?
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe it.
Man.
I believe
I'm a
it.
good
So
guy.
where can I go and get this?
Man, I got mine from road.co/smoke, man, and they had it right at my front doorstep, man.
If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off Sparks for your first order on a recurring plan. Connect with your provider at road.co/smoke to find out if prescriptions of Rose Sparks is right for you. That's road.co/smoke for $15 off your first order.
You ever had one of those moments when you want to elevate your night? Maybe it's a dinner with friends or a celebration that calls for something extra. That's where Grand Marnier comes in. You probably heard of it, but have you tried the signature drink? The Grand Margarita. It's the twist of a classic margarita. It has the smooth richness of Grand Marnier's cognac, and combined with orange liqueur, a bit of citrus, and just the right amount of sweetness. With a taste like that, it's perfect for any occasion. Whether you're chilling at the crib or out with friends, a Grand Marg remixes a regular cocktail into something extraordinary. Don't just settle for a good cocktail when you can have something grand. It's about making your next drink one to remember. So when you're making your next margarita, remix it and make it grand with Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier liqueur, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. 2025 Campari America, New York, New York. Drink with style, drink responsibly. A decorated college career at St. John's, 3-time Big East Player of the Year from 1983 to 1985. That's crazy. Wooden Award in 1985. How was being a college icon and the years at St. John's?
Amazing. Timing is everything, right?
But this is when the Big East is the
The Big East.
I went on TNT last night for a segment with Charles, Kenny, and Shaq and Ernie. And Charles, Michael, Patrick were all same years of high school.
Yeah.
So Charles was like, yo, dude, I remember watching you on ESPN. Now here's Charles at Auburn, megastar, but didn't have that platform.
Right.
So a few people don't know, the ESPN did a deal with the Big East in '79. So our games were nationally televised, almost every game.
Yeah, they
on
was.
ESPN. First conference to do that. So the exposure was incredible platform. We played our home games at Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
In the Big East, Georgetown had Patrick, and
Yep.
they had Reggie Williams, David Wingate. They had 5 or 6 pros every year.
Well, Syracuse was nice.
Syracuse had Pearl Washington, Derek Coleman, Ronnie Cycli.
Yep.
Villanova had Ed Pickney. So up and down, every team had pros, and every night was a battle.
Yeah.
It was incredible. But again, as you're going through it, you're just focused on playing. But that exposure just exploded college basketball. It really did, to where the kids in the West Coast knew who we were. I remember coming out here when I first came to the Warriors. Gary Payton wanted to go to St. John's. Gary Payton Sr. Yeah, that's where he wanted to go. Mitch Richmond, from watching he wanted to go to Syracuse. So it was an amazing time to be a college player playing against those. And it was different now with the NIL and transfer portal. Most of us stayed 4 years. Most guys stayed 4 years. So you developed a real rivalry with whether it be Georgetown, Syracuse, Villanova. So, just a great time to be in college basketball. Again, timing, we don't control that, but fortunate.
But you at home too.
Oh, yeah. That was good and bad.
Yeah.
Mostly good. But, sometimes having that super green light.
Yeah. Yeah. Lime green.
Yeah. Sometimes you feel like you're indestructible.
Yeah. Yeah. 84 Olympics gold. You want to go with Magic and Patrick Ewing. Back when college kids was able to play.
Yeah.
Talk about that experience and the difference between that and the Dream Team.
Yeah, amazing. So historically speaking, now the last amateur team to win a gold medal, because
Right.
88 we lost and 92 the Dream Team came in. That team was loaded. That was a great
Who was on that team in 84?
That was, let me say everyone. Michael, Patrick, Wayman, Tisdale.
It was a problem.
Incredible player.
Yes.
Incredible. God rest his soul.
Incredible,
Sam Perkins.
great musician too.
Yes. Sam Perkins. He played the bass guitar
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah.
Lefty.
Yeah. Tisdale.
Right?
Tisdale was dope.
Yeah. He was legit, dude.
Yeah.
Vern Fleming,
Vernon Fleming.
Leon Wood, Steve Alford, Jeff Turner, Joe Klein,
Joe Klein. Filing ass.
Alvin Robertson.
Alvin Robinson was
Talk
nice.
about baller.
He was nice. He can get buckets. He was nice.
And tough.
Yeah, he was nice.
I think that's everybody. Did I miss anyone? Well, obviously,
That's
Michael.
a squad, though. That's a squad.
That was Michael's ultra coming out party.
Yeah.
I had mentioned Michael, Patrick, Charles. We were all in the same high school class. I had saw Michael the first time in the McDonald's All-American game. And people tell me this now, like 30 years later. I don't really remember it, but you know how sometimes you make comments when they said, man, you came back from the McDonald's game and said you saw the greatest play you ever saw. I'm like, I don't really remember that, but
As a teenager.
yeah. And I played against a lot of great players in New York.
Right.
And then they said, you said the same thing after you came back from the Pan Am tryouts. And you said the same thing during the Olympic trials. So he was just different. He was different.
He was just different.
Athletically, fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
The best athlete on the floor. In '84, we played 8 exhibition games against NBA teams.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at those rosters, it was Magic.
Yeah.
Isaiah.
Yeah.
McHale.
Bird.
All the top guys were
Yeah.
playing. And almost every night, Michael was the best player by far as a junior in college.
That's crazy.
And everybody knew it. And then in LA, which was sick. It was fun, man. Having the Olympics in LA.
Yeah.
That was
Do you
a lot.
remember that infamous practice that Magic always talks about?
Oh,
That was
Oh, that
Dream
was
Team.
Dream Team.
Yeah.
That was Dream Team. Okay,
but,
yeah.
but I'll give you one infamous practice in LA, though. So Bobby Knight was our coach. Legendary Bobby
Shout
Knight.
out Bobby Knight. He recruited
Yeah.
me and cursed me out.
Big time. That's all he did.
Yeah, he called my house and said, do you want to come to Indiana? I'm like, well, he cut me off like, well, if you can't make a decision today, don't worry about it. Hung up in my mom's face. That was Bobby Knight.
Yeah,
Shout out Bobby Knight, though.
Bobby was, let's put it this way, rough around the edges, but fundamentally a good person.
Great
Yeah.
they did, yeah.
But Bobby, we were playing in LA, winning most games by 30. We were having practice after the game.
Oh, wow.
One of those practices, Leon Wood wore a hat backwards. Bobby kicked him out of practice after we had just won by 30. So he was. But let me just say this about Bobby Knight. When he would travel internationally, my dad was a U.S. Customs inspector at JFK in New York. Anytime he came through the airport, he made a way over to say hi to my dad. That's why I respect him.
Oh, yeah, that's
away,
dope.
away from the limelight,
Yeah.
just to say a quick hello.
So he was a real one. Yeah.
This message is brought to you by Captain Morgan, America's #1 spice rum. The legend starts when you follow the captain. Max, speaking of Captain Morgan and the legend of the captain, who is the greatest leader on the floor, captain, you've ever played with?
Woo. Greatest leader on the floor. Captain. Damn, boy, that's a good question, man. Oh, man. Probably guy when I was in college. My man, God bless him, Ronnie Montgomery. Was backcourt
Teammate of yours?
mate of mine. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, teammate.
Teammate of yours?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. He was such a special guy, man, and such a great teammate, and he lifted everybody up. And I mean, I'm just saying this because the motherfucker, he kept me under wraps, because I knew it was hard for him. But he was the one that, if it wasn't for him, I really don't think I would have made it, to the NBA because of him. Because a lot of times he's the one I used to, I could talk to, and he'll come and talk to me. And he's the one to tell me, all right, Max, you fucking up, man. You need to chill, man. And, him, he was that guy right there. He was the ultimate teammate. I mean, he was pass first guy. And that's how I became the all-time leading scorer at the University of Florida, because of him. Because he'll have a damn wide open layup, and he'll be 10 feet in front of me. He'll turn around and throw it at me. I'm 5 feet behind him. He'll give it to me and let me go dunk the motherfucker. So that's how special. He's just a special individual, man. So Ronnie Montgomery, that's my guy. That's who I get the motherfucking flowers to. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Boost Mobile.
Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network. I know we stay joking, but let me take a second to put on my serious voice. Because this isn't a joking matter. Me personally, I would never joke about a 5G network that has invested billions in building 5G towers across the country.
Me neither.
Not even once.
Me neither.
Feel me?
Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store for more information.
The Boost Mobile network together with our roaming partners covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds not available in all areas. Bro, it's been a long day of work, man. I'm ready to get baked.
You ain't never lied.
No. I mean toasted,
Yes, sir.
gooey, melted. It's gonna be nice.
Wait a minute, bro. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Jimmy John's, bro. After years of perfecting the cold sandwich, Jimmy John's is turning up the heat on their sandwich game.
Jimmy John's toasted sandwiches are finally here. Try one of their 3 new toasted sandwiches with like my favorite, the chicken bacon ranch, roast beef and cheddar, or the ultimate Italian.
Or why not try one of your Jimmy John's favorites, toasted?
Each sandwich is the perfect combination of crunchy and melty. They're here and they're hot.
Order online at jimmyjohns.com, the Jimmy John's app, or stop by your local Jimmy John's for a perfectly toasted sandwich. Satisfy your toast buds.
92 Dream Team, arguably the greatest team ever assembled. You shot the shit out of it with that team. 14 for 26 from the three-point line during that run. What was that like? Again, you grew up. This is your generation, your guys, and the first time all pros are going to face the rest of the world. Obviously, we saw what you guys did on the court, but what was that experience like in practice, in the bus, just kind of hanging around with those guys?
Yeah, Matt, when we first started, you talked about Nellie's comments, Magic's comments. That was the pinnacle of my career, the pinnacle of my success, the reward for all the hard work, acceptance slash, being told, yeah, you're one of the best. So at that point in time, again, timing-wise, right?
Right.
Who knew in 89 or 91 that was going to happen?
Right.
But I was playing my best basketball at the right time. So fortunately, was at the peak of my career, I had played in the Olympics already. So to me, to be part of that group with some of my idols, Magic and Bird, were the guys I looked up to. They were. I watched them in '79 in college and watched their entire careers. Tried to emulate their games. Magic and Larry, brought passing back, including their teammates. So the unselfish team play. So I tried to emulate my game after those guys, and then here I am playing with them. So the ultimate in getting respected by your peers, by the people in the league office. And then the impact we're feeling today. That's what we're feeling today. And it was really cool. While it was going on, David Stern telling us, forecasting what it was going to do. He would tell us, you guys have no idea what impact this is going to have on our game. And we're sitting there like, that's nice to say, thank you, but what does that mean? 30 years later, we have
Global game.
third of our league is foreign-born players.
Right.
So that's the impact. So looking back, and from that experience, getting to play with Patrick and Michael again in that Olympic platform was cool. And then playing against, like you said, the guys who were rivals, but then to spend time away from the court, get to know their families, and become real friends as opposed to just rivals. And, you guys grew up on the beginning of this, so we didn't have social media, so we didn't hang out in the offseason.
Right.
We would maybe go to a golf tournament, maybe go to a charity game, but we didn't hang like that. So that was cool to be around each other away from the competitive platform. So that was really nice. It was good. And it opened up an opportunity because I got close with Larry. Not that I wasn't close with him. I wound up going to Indiana playing for Larry, years later. So, but to me, it was the ultimate recognition for my career. So to me, that I didn't win a world championship. I went to the finals once. But for me, the thing that really sticks out to me the most on my 2 Olympic experiences, they're so unique. Both of them are so different.
Right.
But again, the timing, I was fortunate enough to be playing at a high level, both in '84 and '92. Some players missed those Olympic years as amateurs.
When you're looking back on it now, was that almost because Bird was on his way out, Magic was on it, because that was that kind of the passing of the torch to kind of what was that like?
It
wasn't easy.
It was a grabbing of the torch.
Right.
A grabbing of it.
They wasn't passing shit.
Larry passed it. Larry, a lot of those practice sessions you talked about, Jack, one was in Monaco.
Yeah.
So we were We went to San Diego for training camp. We had to qualify for the Olympics because we lost in '88. We had to go to Portland for a tournament, and then we took a break and went to Monte Carlo. So we played the French national team, I think it was, and didn't really play well. So Chuck Daly's like, I need one more practice before we go to Barcelona. And that's when that practice, it was closed door, no one in the gym. Chuck Daly split up the teams. Michael had a squad, Magic had a squad, and they were just talking trash. And I remember, Michael was just going at Magic, and Magic was not giving up. Magic's, one of the greatest players of all time, and still was not going to just hand it over. Larry had a bad back, and I remember, scrimmage, and then everyone's talking shit, and you look over at Larry just laughing, going, it's over, man. It's over. Like, leave that guy alone, man. We had our time in the sun. Yes. But it was literally, it was cool to see not only Michael take it, but Magic fight for it. Yeah. And then go.
Couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, you got it. So it was really cool. Another thing about that experience, all those guys, Stockton, Malone, Patrick, David, you could see why they're so successful, not only in basketball, but post-career. Just because of their professionalism, their dedication, discipline, and their work ethic. So that was really cool to see. So yeah, just that to me, for me, throughout my basketball career, the most memorable experience.
The Pacer, I mean, obviously 13 years here.
Yeah.
You move on. First of all, how tough was that to move on from Golden State? Because that was your NBA home, and then you go to Indiana. Yeah, it was time. Sometimes it's just time to go. Warriors were in transition, going very, very young. I was 34, probably turning 35. It was tough. I thought about staying, but then this opportunity came. Larry got the head coaching job. We had that relationship from the Dream Team. Donnie Walsh was there. They had a really good team for many years, trying to get over the hump. Mark Jackson was there. I played with Mark in high school and college. And then, so my 3 years with the Pacers were 3 of the best years they had, in my career. I mean, no, the 3 best. 2 conference finals and NBA finals. So played with some incredible, pros. Reggie Miller, of course, dynamic, incredible. Did you play with Reggie?
Yes, sir.
You talk about daily habits and routine does not vary. Reggie is a creature of habit. And that's why he's such a legendary, great player.
All bullshit aside, in a practice shootout, one-on-one with you and Reggie, what did that look like? Did that ever happen?
That would happen all the time.
And who would win?
All the time. So what we used to do, almost after every practice, we would shoot threes. But it wasn't just me and Reggie. 4 of us would shoot. Me, Reggie, Mark would join in, because Mark wanted to be a shooter.
Competitive.
And it was automatic.
No coming in last.
and Sam Perkins.
Sam had a jumper.
Sam had a winner.
So we would go win, play, show, and then the other guy would have to leave.
Yeah.
And shoot. So we go back and forth.
Okay.
We go back and forth, but not many misses.
Yeah.
But I always respected his work ethic, his routine, man. He did not vary. He did the same thing every day. So dedicated, great teammate, and really, I mean, Jack, he carried that franchise for almost 20 years.
That's the only reason they traded for me, because he approved it.
So I got nothing but respect and admiration for Reggie. But Indiana, you played there, Jack. A unique NBA city. Got a college atmosphere. People drive around the cars with the flags, it's
all day long.
Really love the team,
It's a unique experience. I had 3 great years there. Antonio Davis, Dale Davis, Rick Smits, Al Harrington, John Bender, Jalen Rose,
Travis Bass.
Incredible team.
Yeah.
Jonathan Bender.
And we lost in the finals to when Shaq and Kobe won their first in 2000.
Yeah. But then the Shaq fouled out, right?
Yeah.
Is that when Jalen Rose got Kobe on the ankle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. That's
And he
it.
played
Exactly.
Closer than people think. I think it was 4-2.
Yeah, it was solid. Yeah.
Close series.
7-game series with MJ in '98. 6-game series against Shaq in 2000. The finals and loss. While we on Reggie, talk about Reggie and his workouts and how he prepared, because I seen it with my eyes, every morning, even on game days. We just leaving to leave from shoot around. He's on his way to the arena. You know what I'm saying? So what did you see in Reggie that was different that set him apart from everybody?
Yeah, to me,
because he don't get his props like he should.
No, he's one of those guys as an opponent and a teammate, the ultimate respect and admiration.
Yeah.
Because I watched him every single day, whether it be taking care of his ankles, to getting his rest, to getting there early to get his shooting routine in.
Right.
all those things. He never changed his daily routine at all. He was so locked in. And then the 3 years I was there, I don't think I saw a guy make more clutch shots than Reggie Miller. It was amazing. And he's the first guy in my mind I can remember that started taking like 10 threes a game. Back then, guys, if you took 4, they're like, yo, dude, what are you, like, calm down. Reggie was taking 10, 12 threes and making 5 or 6, dude, and clutch threes. He was a clutch performer, dude. And, you know, when Larry took over, he had a nice post game. He was getting to the free throw line. Man, those 3 years that I played with him, I don't think there was a more clutch performer in those 3.
At the 2-guard spot besides
I mean,
MJ.
he was incredible. And then he went, him and Michael went at it. They went at it, dude.
Yeah.
You talk about that 7-game series we lost to Chicago.
Yeah.
We were up 13 in the first half, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a low-scoring game. That was we had them, man.
Mike couldn't guard Reggie because Reggie moved too much.
You know what they would do?
Too much. The push off,
They would put Scotty on Mark because Phil Jackson's defensive strategy was take the ball movement away.
Yeah.
They would put Scotty on Mark
For his length.
and Michael on me or Reggie, and then almost try and stop the ball movement to almost
Instead of the
eliminate
player.
almost shot attempts.
Yeah.
Not so much when he had the ball,
Yeah.
but cut down his attempts.
Yeah.
No, Reggie Miller, man, he's one of the greatest.
Shout out Reg.
What was that like? LB
Larry Bird.
as a coach. I
Okay,
mean,
so Larry Bird, obviously you guys know of him.
I love him.
Didn't play again. You played. He was there in the front office.
management.
He the one that actually called me when I got my big deal with Indiana. He actually
Yeah.
called me.
But as a player,
Don't know that. Don't
off
know
the
that.
charts.
Yeah.
Like, off the charts. I'll put him up against anybody.
Right.
Especially in a playoff series.
Right.
So nasty. Passing. He does it all. Talk shit like crazy,
Yeah.
but quietly. Only to you.
Right.
Which would mess you up. Not just to you, and which messes you up more.
Yeah.
But as a coach, kept it real simple, real fundamental. Be on time, play unselfish, and play hard. Sounds silly, but
A lot of people
let me
have a
tell you
hard time
something.
doing
I
that.
was there 3 seasons. We had one guy late, one time, and that's it. No drama, nothing, because he just
Didn't go for it.
Gotta
Simple.
respect Larry Bird. though.
So this is what happened, Jack. We're playing preseason. Larry's first year coaching. We're leaving Indiana, going to Nashville for a preseason game. It's like 10:58. Everyone's on the plane. David Craig, the trainer, comes up to Larry. Travis and Dale, they're coming from they're in the jetway or whatever. What time is it? It's 11. Wheels up. So the plane's running down, taking off. Travis and Dale are running after the plane.
Running?
Running, literally. We took off. Everyone's like, save Dale, save Dale. After that day, though, no one ever late again. That was preseason, which was perfect timing.
Well, set the
But
standard.
Larry was so blunt and to the point. Halftime, he'd be like, you fucking stars don't stop playing, man. In 5 minutes, I'm taking your ass out. I remember a game in Milwaukee. I'm like 4 for 9, whatever. You're not playing great, but not. He said, Mully, come here. You gonna make a fucking shot or what, man? Just keep it real simple. Yeah. And what I liked about Larry, and I did it when I was a coach at St. John's, he really empowered his assistant coaches.
Yeah.
We had Dick Harder, who was in charge of defense. He let him do the defense no matter what. We had Rick Carlisle in charge of offense.
Young
Now,
Rick.
Rick would draw the plays up in the timeout, and everyone thought Larry didn't. Larry told him what play
Right.
he wanted. He just wasn't an artist.
Right.
He knew what the hell he was doing, and he
Right.
controlled everything. I really appreciated that. And by the way, we started winning a lot, and they started questioning, who's coaching? Well, he was doing everything.
Right.
But he empowered his assistants, which is really what a good teammate does, what a good leader does.
Right.
Important. Yeah. I mean, we can talk for a long time, but Mully's got other obligations. Give a round of applause for Chris Mullin.
Yes, sir. The legend.
Pleasure.
Appreciate you, Mully. Thank you, bro.
Thanks, Matt.